We're now just over halfway through 2014, and Hollywood has already churned out a load of blockbusters, but there's plenty more to come.
And here to give us a sneak peek at what we can look forward to in the second half of the year is Erik Davis, contributing editor at the movie website Fandango.com. Eric, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How has the first half of the year been for movies?
You know, a little lackluster, I think, if you listen to the critics who did not like Transformers Age of Extinction. Which
Hasn't stopped it, though, has it?
No, it's the biggest movie in the world right now. I mean, it's just cleaning house at the box office. But, you know, other than that, I think some of the big movies landed with their audiences, and I thought there was some decent stuff. Pretty good, but I'm definitely looking forward to the second half of 2000.
Well, let's look at what's coming out in the second half. Let's start with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, this movie is getting monster buzz. Everyone I know who has seen it loves it. Takes place 10 years after the first one, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This simian flu has kind of wiped out a lot of the humans on the planet, and the remaining humans have to contend with this ape, this growing ape population. And if you know anything about Planet of the Apes, I think we know who may win this war. But yeah, you know, it just looks great. My friend says it's the best sequel since The Dark Knight.
The first one was so good, and none of the original actors from the first one are in this one.
No, this is a whole new
Andy
cast.
Serkis is, we should point out, right?
Yeah, Andy Serkis is. And I think, you know, he is the real star of this film. What he does with this motion capture technology and becoming Caesar is just amazing. And I think after this film, people are going to say, you know what, he deserves some kind of award. Maybe the Oscars should think about a category for these types of performances.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We have Boyhood, which is coming out on Friday also. And this is a really tiny indie film with Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette.
It's a tiny indie film, but I think it's going to be the year's first Oscar contender. You know, it's a coming-of-age story about this family, the trials and tribulations that they go through over the course of 12 years. But what's interesting is that it was actually shot over the course of 12 years. So not only do you see the natural age progression of its stars, Ethan Hawke, Patricia Arquette, but you also have this nice little time capsule where you know, things like when the iPod came out, there's a scene about that. And when you see a scene like that, you know, okay, this was shot the year the iPod came out. And all the music, you know, so it sort of takes you back over your own life the last 12 years while you're joining their lives as well.
The film may be small, but the idea is kind of epic, shooting over 12
it
years.
Is.
On August 1st, Marvel's going to release Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is also getting a lot of film buzz.
Yeah, you know, well, this is the next movie from Marvel Studios, who did Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is like one of the biggest movies of the year. The way I like to describe this film is that if the Avengers are the Beatles, the Guardians of the Galaxy are the Rolling Stones. So you have this ragtag group of outer space misfits who have to come together to defeat this intergalactic evil. I was actually on the set of this film last year in London. What I saw blew me away. Really reminded me of the next Star Wars. I say go see it. Kids are going to love it.
In September, we have This Is Where I Leave You. What's the story about?
Yeah, this is about 4 siblings who their father dies and they have to go home to their childhood house and reunite and live under one roof for a week, and the complexities that come out of that. Based on a fantastic book. I cannot recommend it more if you're looking for a summer beach read. And great ensemble cast, Jason Bateman, Tina Fey, especially Jane Fonda, who plays the mom, and the mom in the book is out there, so look for her performance.
In October, we get Gone Girl, which is David Fincher's adaptation of the blockbuster novel.
Yes.
Ben Affleck is in that?
Ben Affleck. This is one of our last chances to see Ben Affleck before he becomes Batman. So I'm looking forward to this one. David Fincher is great at adaptations. He did The Social Network. He also did The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and they may have changed a little bit about the book. So even if you read the book, you think you know everything that happens, go see the movie. I think you're going to like it.
In October, Seth Rogen has a comedy called The Interview.
Yeah, I think if there's any movie that's going to incite an international incident this year, it's going to be The Interview. Seth Rogen, James Franco, they play a couple of guys from Celebrity Chat Show who are invited to go interview North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The U.S. government instead asked them to assassinate him and cue a lot of action comedy. I think it looks great. North Korea is not too pleased with the movie so far, or at least the premise.
I can't imagine why.
But I love it, and I think Seth Rogen is just at the top of his game right now.
Finally, November 7th, we've got Christopher Nolan's next film. Always interesting. This is called Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey.
This is Interstellar, yeah, and Christopher Nolan, of course, did the Batman movies, also did Inception. He likes these brainy sci-fi movies. This is about interstellar space travel. Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, pushing the boundaries, wormholes, going farther in space than we've ever gone before in order to save our planet. This man makes epic movies. I say see it on the biggest screen possible. It's one of my most anticipated.
All right, Erik Davis, you got me excited about going to the movies. Thank you very much.